We started with 12. We're down to 6. By the end of Sunday, there will only be 1. So catch the recap from everything that happened on day 4 and take a look to see who I think will be crowned the Call of Duty Black Ops 4 World Champion. COD fans, good to see you. It's actually a pleasure, in fact, to see you. I won't lie to you guys. Today, if you missed day number 4, if you missed the second day of bracket play, you missed out on everything. You need to go back and just rethink your life. I won't say to go back and rewatch the streams because there's a lot of COD to watch, and then you wouldn't have to watch this video, but you missed a lot. Let's dig into things. We'll stick with the winners bracket to start. Now, if you remember back when we were looking at the winners bracket, we started off with these teams here. E United will be playing up against Evil Geniuses, Sicario versus Units for a top 6 spot, Reciprocity versus Luminosity, and OpTic versus Enigma 6. Insane sets all the way around. I don't know how else to tell you. It was wild. It was insane. It was fun. It was a really good time. EU, EG, a fun one. It would go all the way to 5, and if you missed it, you missed out on a banger. There's a lot of people out there saying that Evil Geniuses might not be the best team, whatever, blah, blah, blah. They played their balls off against E United. It went all the way to game number 5. It would be very, very close all the way through. 250, 244, 250, 228. It was a 6-3, 4-6, and a 2-3 on the C side. So everything was round 9 or above on search, round 5 control, and everything was above 228 at least to 250. For the hard points. It was insane. Definitely one to go back and rewatch. At the end of the day, though, Attach and the gang, they were good, but they weren't quite good enough. They would drop it, like I mentioned, 6-3 in the Search and Destroy on Arsenal. That one definitely hurt. Sicario and Units would be the next ones up. And again, this was one that a lot of people just weren't really all that excited for. And to be honest, you didn't really miss a whole heck of a lot. Sicario just looked a little bit lost to start. There was one very close hard point in there, but at the end of the day, Sicario was only able to take the control. So as you see it there, it was a 3-2 for United and then a 3-1 for Units. That means that United and Units would be playing for the winners bracket finals. Units for the winners bracket finals. It's insane. Again, I don't mean to make it sound like I'm hating on Units. It's just a simple fact that that was definitely the easiest side of the bracket. But beyond that, the simple fact that I didn't think Units would have had a chance to even finish top 12 at the beginning of the month, let alone top 6. Going to the other side of the bracket, Reciprocity, Luminosity, OpTic, E6. A lot of hopes for a number of teams. Luminosity looking to bounce back after their very kind of chaotic pool play. And of course, they were able to beat 100 Thieves, so you were feeling pretty good going into Rec. And well, Reciprocity would just not go away in this one. After they were getting beat up pretty bad, they would start to swing things back into their favor on the control, where they were able to take things 3-2 after being down 2-0. They were able to outlast Luminosity 250-211 on the gridlock hardpoint, and then round 11 payload for the Search and Destroy, map number 5, and Reciprocity would be able to sneak things away. Dylan looking like a man on fire once again. He just had an insane set, but there was also great plays from Zed specifically. It's just a number of insane moments across the board. But Reciprocity, we're starting to look like that team that you're really, really nervous for when it comes down to, will they start playing as a full 5 all the way through? Because if they do, you'll be put into a very rough spot. For OpTic and Enigma 6, though, slipping down to the bottom side of the bracket, a lot of hopes for Enigma 6 after a couple of cheeky strategies. Maybe they were able to pull a fast one by OpTic. Not today. The only map that Enigma 6 would be able to take would be the Search and Destroy. That's a little bit of a trend, isn't it? As actually, they're incredible at Search, by the way. They were flawless up until this point. 6-5 was a round 11 win on Gridlock, a Search and Destroy that, let's be honest, OpTic has some not a lot of experience when it comes to that map in specific, but they've been playing it here and there. Maybe looking like, hey, we're prepared. You know, you're not going to veto it. We're going to play it. But they didn't look super great in this one. A couple of missed moments here or there, but it didn't make much of a difference. The respawn that OpTic's been playing at has been insane. It did go round 5 Arsenal control, an insane one. That's definitely a single map that you'd want to go back and rewatch. And then when they got back into the hard point, it was pretty much one-sided as it was throughout most of the OpTic run so far when it comes to the respawn. So they would move on in the set and move on to the winners semifinals. We'll stick with the winners bracket and we'll finish these ones up, going with E United and Units. I laugh because it was the easiest 3-0 you'll see all week. Sim had the performance and the set of a lifetime. a absolute lifetime. In fact, the search and destroy, he went 12-1. His one death was actually him just playing his life out so the bomb would go off. So technically he played a perfect search and destroy with insane snipes, strife pistols, things like that, everything. He was madman. It was the most insane search and destroy, insane sniping display, insane any individual performance we've ever seen, period. And I got a chance to kind of wrap it all up into a pretty bow and highlight all the top kills. That's in another video that just got posted, so make sure you go check that one out if you missed that round in specific. Beyond that, units looking like maybe some of the conversation points of they just had an easy bracket. They got through on just by scaping by a lot of the easy teams. Very well could have been the case. They're clearly not ready to play up against top teams, but again, that was a freak performance from United and Simp in specific, so what can you do? OpTic Reciprocity. This one I kind of had pinned up to be a pretty decent one. It would not be all that close. Respawn again, Reciprocity, which is not at the same level as OpTic. Both hard points would go to OpTic. 6-2, as the map vetoes were just strange in this one. They allowed OpTic, Reciprocity allowed OpTic to play on Seaside and Frequency Hardpoint, two of their better maps that they've been playing well this tournament, and they allowed him to play on Payload Search and Destroy. They're 10-3 on the map. They won at 6-2. The only place they would lose OpTic would be on the Arsenal Control. Very questionable picks and bans from Reciprocity. Not 100% sure on that one because, again, their Seaside has been okay, not great. Their Frequency has been okay, not great, and not well rehearsed. They have played well on Payload Search, but so have OpTic. This is the team that's struggling in search, and you play them on payload. I'm confused by that one. And then, like I mentioned, they were able to find themselves the win when it came down to the Arsenal Control. It was a pretty tight one, though. But we need to do the losers bracket. So reminding you guys of what that looks like. E6 would swap down to play Team War. Luminosity dropping down to play Singularity. Sicario drops to play 100 Thieves, and Evil Geniuses would drop to play Elevate. We'll start at the bottom, which is where our coverage started. Sicario, 100 Thieves, Evil Geniuses, Elevate. You didn't miss much. A couple of moments from Exceed on Sicario where it looked like it was going to be close. Chino, a couple of great moments, but 100 Thieves was just too much of a team for them. Evil Geniuses able to take care of Elevate, no problem. It was a 3-1 and a 3-0. Jumping on into the top side of this losers bracket, Enigma 6, Team War, Luminosity, and Singularity. Again, Singularity had previously beat Luminosity. Would they be able to find the same favor here once again? The answer would be absolutely not, as Singularity would not be able to do all that much against them. It did come down pretty close. It was a tight set, I'll give you that much, with the exception of the control. It was a 214-250 and a 251-70 on the hard points, a 6-5 round 11 on Hacienda, which narrowly went Luminosity, and a 3-0 on the control gridlock. And there was one moment early on in the Hacienda Search and Destroy where Singularity were up 5-2 in the lives. First round out, and Luminosity were able to clutch up. That round kept them from getting to a map number 5. And again, this is a Singularity team that has been insane at the Search and Destroy specifically. So the fact that that was their first Search and Destroy loss and it came down to a botched round, they would have gone back to gridlock. It's a feels bad moment for Singularity, but Luminosity definitely handled their own when it came down to the respawn specifically. And then for the Enigma 6 and Team War set, this one is actually a barn burner as well, as Enigma 6 would not have nearly as easy of a time as we think they probably should have. Team War looked really dominant throughout a lot of the play that they were able to put together, but it wasn't going to be quite enough. Went to map 5. There was a 249-250 win for Team War against E6 on gridlock. It came down to the wire, and actually I have a clip on that call, so take a listen to see how that one ended up.
We'll have that SMG in hand. Dave just about breaks through though. The pressure's coming through. Team War quick, but there's Mayhem. He's got a grenade launcher. They tried to run in. He can't do it. There's the fourth as well. 10 points away for E6.
This cluster raid is going to go out the door, and it slows down Team War even more. They really can't do very much. They have to flood. They have to go now. And Mayhem is pre-firing the door. Several members now flooding in towards it. They have to get in. They've got to get in. It's 249 contested. There's playing going on the hill, and Dave manages to get in there as well. But Kismet comes in, and it's Vortex to hold on. Vortex has managed to clear them out. They're going to come through Ice Cream. Team War are now running for this. It's going to come down to one gunfight, surely. 249 and 247. Here they go. Dave goes in. It's got RX. It's Petey. It's D-Frag. It's everybody. What a way to end that game on a Bravo. D-Frag gets a 3-piece, and somebody please show me that kill cam, because I don't know.
Beyond that one, though, again, the Search and Destroys were pretty convincing. 6-4 for War on the first, 6-3 for Enigma 6 at the end, a 3-1 control, and a 250-185 map number 4. Definitely a tight one, but not nearly as close. So after the 3-2, it'd be Enigma 6 playing up against LG, 100 Thieves playing up against EG. And as we got into this one, this would be where our coverage would essentially stop after this set of matches. The 100 Thieves Evil Geniuses one, that one was over before you could blink. A very unfortunate drop. Again, you kind of go back to Evil Geniuses playing up against E United. They were so close to making it happen. All they needed was one hard point win, which they nearly had on Arsenal as well as on Gridlock. And they weren't able to get that done, and 100 Thieves would absolutely smack them. 176, 250, 2-6 search, 1-3 control. It was over very, very quick, and 100 Thieves are looking like a championship team once again. Enigma 6 and Luminosity, though, that would be a totally different story, as Enigma 6 were looking a little rough to start, not gonna lie to you, but their search and destroy would kind of bury them out of the hole. It would go round 11 versus Luminosity, though. That was on Hacienda, where E6 were able to clutch things up, a number of round 11s. They would then go to control on Arsenal, a map that Enigma 6 has looked very good on, and it was close for a while until Luminosity just ran away with it on round 4. And it would be a 3-1 there. But Enigma 6, not out of the battle. They would come back and smack LG on Gridlock hardpoint, 250 to 95. And then a 6-1 Arsenal search and destroy. And haters be aside you, Enigma 6 will be playing up against units with the possibility of finishing with at least a top 4 finish. Reciprocity with a much harder road as they'll have to go through 100 Thieves. That's going to be our first bit of coverage to start things off tomorrow. So we've got 6 teams that are left. We've got United and OpTic in the winners finals. Holy smokes, that's going to be fun to watch. Units Enigma 6 and Reciprocity 100 Thieves. Predictions for you. I've got Enigma 6 being able to take care of units 3-1. A little worried about the hard point for the Enigma 6. Not really convinced yet, but their control and their search has been flawless, so that's good to know. For Reciprocity 100 Thieves, honestly, I want to say Rec have a pretty decent shot. I can see this one going 5, but 100 Thieves have just turned up. Since that game against FaZe where they were able to find the momentum and that control after they were being down and they had to win that 2v8 round, it's been 100 Thieves all over everybody. Now, granted, they played up against Sicario and then Evil Geniuses looked a little deflated, but Reciprocity, I feel like, is not going to be able to come out and match the pace of 100 Thieves. And if Reciprocity beefs their vetoes like they did against OpTic, it's over. I just worry that Reciprocity is not going to be able to match up against 100 Thieves. So I've got 100 Thieves coming out of that one, which would mean that Enigma 6 will play up against 100 Thieves in the losers bracket for 4th place. Could be a good one, to be completely honest with you. I don't know which way I would call it yet. You think the favorite would definitely go into that of 100 Thieves, but Enigma 6 have looked strong with a couple of cheeky strats. And I think that they actually match up on 100 Thieves maps pretty darn well. For OpTic United, I'm not sure how to call that one, to be honest with you. If Simp keeps playing like he is, it's going to be hard to vote against him. But at the same point, OpTic is full on slaying. The set versus Reciprocity was insane. There's actually a handful of clips that I completely missed from their OpTic set that I need to go back and show you guys, where Dashy popped off with a 5K spree at one point in time. And then to follow that up after Dashy finds the penta feed, it's TJ who goes on a 7 killing spree back to back. OpTic were just absolutely all over the map, and you love to see these kind of moments when you're looking at OpTic gaming. That was against Enigma 6 that happened, but with OpTic playing on Seaside as strong as they've had been so far this tournament, but beyond that, when they've been able to also flex to every single map with wins, this is a scary team. For me, it just comes down to, can they, in particular, work on their search and destroy and find a home? Because you can't figure that people are going to let them play on payload for much longer. So they need to get things worked out. I'm hoping that they're able to do so, because this is a very exciting OpTic team to watch when they're at full force. It just comes down to, will they be able to clean things up? So hard to say, but I think that the chances, your top 3 are probably going to be some combination of OpTic, E United, and 100 Thieves, as be my guess. And then winning it all, I think I've got OpTic winning it all. I think it's just the simple fact that looking at the respawns in specific, I just like OpTic's map pool more than I like United's, at least as far as what we've seen so far. It'd be hard to really negate it, but I don't know. It's going to be fun regardless. We had a lot of fun in the Discord for those guys that were hanging out. Pleasure always being in the voice chat with you guys. If you want to join in the conversation, whether it be through text or voice, you can join my Discord server by hitting the link below. Other than that, we'll get you guys for the championship recap after tomorrow. Hope you guys enjoy the games. Until next time, later. Bye-bye.